Listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast. How you doing this morning? Indiana Fever, Minnesota Lynx. They got to tip it up again. They got to do it again. Game time's going to be tonight. It's going to kick it off at 7 p.m. Eastern. And they're going to be at the Target Center up there in Minnesota. As you know, Minnesota won the last one 95-90. Here's the deal. Lexie Hull, can she create a bigger role for Lexie Hull, Stephanie White in the offense? Lexie Hull is extremely confident. And then in the end, I'm gonna wrap up just quickly. Caitlin Clark, global basketball icon, Team USA FIBA basketball. I'm gonna get that started now. Indiana Fever. Hey, listen, we got to rack up this game. You know what? You're going up there against a team that's pretty resilient. And they're strong, they get it done, right? They won 95-90. Okay, you look at it, Mitchell had 27, right? And 5 of 7 from 3, really played a good ball game. Lexie Hull came in there and had a career high. But Lexie Hull is extremely hungry. Folks, she is so hungry today that she wants more. Lexie Hull is saying, give me more, give me more. If I could get more out there, I'll do it. Now, Kayla McBride's a problem, right? We know Kayla McBride's a problem. We know that a player has a conditioning to go 40 minutes. Player has a conditioning to go 10 of 11. And you got to do something. We got to put a glove on that. Now, Mitchell, what happened, the Lynx ran a triangle, right? They cut her off. And they locked her in. That's that triangle I'm talking about. When you get that player there, if they beat the first defender, they got 2 more they got to beat. But she was able to get hot from the outside. Will that happen again, right? You got a new player, Ariel Powers, has come in on a 7-day contract, right? Nope, nothing about the player. She's played in the league. What's going to happen? Let's get to the bigger picture, and let's just break down what is going to happen in the bigger picture. Lynx 29-7, no doubt about it. They want to be the number 1 seed. Everything goes through Minnesota, right? So that's their goal. Fever remain in a playoff hunt. If the Fever don't make the playoffs, folks, I'm going to ask you again, is Stephanie White one and done? Are they going to bring her back? Are they going to say, come on back and play for us? How's that one going to work? Because the Indiana Fever need to win the game. They need to win the games. That's the key. Fever, 9.5-point underdogs, no doubt about it. They got that 80 for 80, 165 as a total. I told you last game, whoever gets to 80 is going to win that ball game first, right? You got to get to that 80 mark before the other team does. And it's really a run and gun. It's going to be there. Mitchell, averaging 20.5 points, 21, somewhere in there. Will she go over that? That's a strong possibility. She can. McBride, will she have the same game she had last year? No. Will have the same game she had last game? No. The Fever got to shut that down. It's going to open up someone else. Fever have to play defense, and they got to get going. And this is one of the things I'm going to share. Natasha Howard's got to get going, right? Because Howard has been in, out, hot, cold. If we can get a game, you can't have the Commissioner's Cup MVP beat Minnesota, but you come back to play him in the regular season, you can't be found, right? So you got Mitchell, you got Lexie Hull. You're going to have to find some areas that you can beat the Minnesota Lynx in. And really, I think it comes down to just the Indiana Fever, their transition defense, right? You got transition. You got to get up and down the floor. You got to run them. You got your man-to-man. You got to be tough mentally to play that man-to-man for 40 minutes. Not 20, not 15 minutes, and that's what happened. The Fever played great defense for a quarter and a half. They got to the half 4-minute mark, and they droughted out. All of a sudden, they felt they were comfortable. When you get a team down, you got to keep them down. You can't just get a team down and say, okay, I got you down. Now we're going to do this. No, when you get a team down, you got to keep that team down. When the Minnesota Lynx came back and took the lead from the Indiana Fever, they did not let them back in the game. That's what the Indiana Fever have to do. Now, FIBA basketball, Caitlin Clark has played 13 games in 2 years of basketball. Caitlin Clark is a global women's basketball icon. I'm going to put ahead of the clock to tell you, I believe Team USA may not have a returning player on it in 2028, which means that's going to be a completely new roster. Too much talent, too many great players coming in. I don't even know if Asia Wilson will make that team in 2 years because the players coming in are going to be really, really skilled, seasoned, and we're doing this on our soil. This Olympics will be on our soil. But because Caitlin has not played, the international presence that the NBA has, it's a big presence, folks. Huge presence. You will sell more shoes for Caitlin Clark internationally than you will in the United States. I want you to grasp that. That's why I truly believe to prepare for the 2028 Olympics, I believe that the WNBA is going to move the schedule. They're going to open up windows for players to be able to play FIBA basketball, and they are not going to wait until it gets discovered because the market is there right now. Caitlin Clark is a global women's basketball icon. You could take her to Dubai. You could take her to Saudi Arabia. You could take her over there to Italy. You could take her over there to Germany. You've got places they're going to play basketball. And this FIBA, it's not the same anymore, folks. And that's what I'm bringing to your attention. The global game is where Adam Silver wants the WNBA to go. But to do that, you have to have 12 ambassadors who are representing the United States of America. That's why I say it may be a strong possibility that the Team USA that they had in 2024 is not going to represent 2028. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast, and the revenue that will be made from Caitlin Clark playing FIBA basketball. Folks, that's a lot of revenue. Caitlin hasn't played basketball, and I don't see Caitlin not playing. If she didn't return this year and not playing a total of 13 games in 2 years, I don't see that happening, folks. I think the summer, the offseason, I think with the expansion, the WNBA is going to come back in, and they're going to be able to expand that schedule to accommodate the WNBA players to come. And here's what they're also doing. They're recruiting the players internationally to come over to the WNBA. So it's intertwined now, and I think overall, who's going to make that roster? Woo, that one's going to be a tough one. It's going to be tougher than it was last year, but this time you're going to get a chance to see the players play. The fans will get a chance. International fans will get to see great basketball from the United States, and Caitlin Clark will shine in FIBA basketball. She's built for it. So this is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast. Get ready. You got the links. Going to do it again with the Fever. Fever bumped them for a half, really 52-50, beat them better than that, but they let them back in the game. Fever could do the same. They're good at jumping out with the leads. Now they got to have the mental toughness to hold the lead. All things are possible to those who believe. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast. We will see you soon.